How about him for
Be careful.
He's and Scott Higgins, both of them coked up out of their minds.
Listen to you. He's down in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I think we should call this the Acement.
The Acement, yes.
Yeah, what do you think there, huh?
I like that. The Acement Studios.
Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. Hold on a second.
We usually drink bourbon on our end.
Yeah,
when we
right.
do the podcast, so
That's all right.
feel free to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot an 8-ball if you want. We don't care. As long as it's good stories.
Welcome to the Acement, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And I am Ace Aceto. Still with no voice 2 fucking weeks later.
Still 2 weeks later, sound like Peter Brady when it's time to change.
I finally hit puberty 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago is when I lost it.
2 weeks. Tomorrow was the show we did when your voice was already out that night.
Gone. I know.
So I've never seen anybody battle laryngitis like this
dude,
before.
It's brutal. Well, I did 2 shows last weekend.
Yeah.
I got 2 play rehearsals a week, so it's been just. I talked during the day for my day job, so I really haven't had a chance to rest.
So how is Equus going in the whole nude part where you stand there? Oh, okay. Sorry. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us as you guys do every Wednesday night. Everyone that tunes in live, we appreciate it. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, we appreciate that as well. And of course, that is where you can support the podcast by hitting that 5-star review button.
Do they hit it or smash it?
I don't care as long as it gets touched.
Oh,
I usually say smash, but I don't care if you tickle it, smash it,
touch it,
push it, touch it, whatever you need to do.
Lick it first, whatever
it takes.
Just made it move.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
just make it move.
Exactly. Blow it, whatever it takes.
All right, you just went way too far.
Well, I just meant going. As
Oh,
long
all right.
as
Okay.
all 5 stars light up at the same time.
Yes, please.
We don't want them one at a time over 5 weeks. We want 5 stars at once.
And
a quick sentence or 2 is such a big help. Is that what you were going to add to that?
No,
bud?
I was going to say, please tell a friend about it.
Yes, of course. That's the best way. That's how we all learned about our favorite podcast. I'm sure that's how you learned about your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
Someone mentions it to you, so pass us along to a friend you think would enjoy the show, and that would be a big help.
And we got a great show tonight.
This is going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun. You know what? We were supposed to be up at the Boston Comedy Festival. Because of a scheduling issue, we were unable to get up there.
I just saw that. He's like, let's go.
It's going to be a good show. I mean, you're going to leave. Someone else is coming in.
But we reached out to a bunch of friends and no one was available. So these 2 guys came in.
We said we got to have somebody.
Yeah, no, you know what? It was actually awesome. We were talking about it before they got here. We had these guys on. So Jay Burns has been on one of our panel shows. But the last time we had both of these guys on together was in the old studio. Yep. We weren't live.
No, we did not have these guys on.
Oh, that's right.
It's true.
We had their alter egos.
We had their relatives.
It was like Batman and Robin. We didn't have Bruce Wayne and what's his name?
Burt Ward.
Burt Ward. Yeah. We had
you're Burt Ward.
Yeah, we
had Grandma Martha
and Sister Imogene.
Yes.
Which I don't even think that episode is available now.
No, I went to look for it. And
thanks
for having us back 6 years later. I appreciate it.
That might be another one at some point we need to re-release.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was such a fun episode.
In the archives.
I mean, it does have a great quote, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of the best ever on this show.
If you've ever heard the quote, I remember when Sophie Tucker had legs.
No, the best line was Scott's like, these kids have to go home and Google every reference that you said for the past hour and a half.
That's right. So we're really happy to have our buddies Jay Burns and Brian Vincent on, the actual people behind Grandma Martha and Sister Imogene. We got the real people on, so this is awesome. And we're all
thanks for joining us.
Our bourbon date. We have
2 dates this week.
We're double dating because there's 4 of us. So
I was gonna say it's not a menage.
No.
Menage a Bourbon. We actually are double dating.
Our guests are drinking our lovely Angel's Envy, who, quite frankly, it's been 4 weeks. I don't know how the hell this bottle is still alive.
Well, that's because we brought in this one.
Yeah.
The legend we brought in that Ace and I have enjoyed over the past couple of podcasts here in the basement. And we kind of let her have some time to herself.
Yep.
And mature a little bit, but we saved her for guests because she is one of our top favorites. And we've been enjoying this one. So.
And when we run out of that, we have our girlfriend Balvini in the bullpen right now.
Yeah, sometimes we like to have someone from Scotland come in.
Yeah, that's right, laddie.
Right, Jay?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. We were talking amongst ourselves.
Sorry. Oh, we didn't mean to disturb you guys.
Yeah, please.
So when did you learn how to whisper on
Yeah, look up to. You learn to whisper now.
Hey, look, Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Cockroach. That's my favorite. Nothing. What do other village people do?
We do need to have him on at some point.
Please have me here that night.
We already talked to his sister Colleen.
Colleen has to come in with him to
be the
wrangle him.
chaperone. Yeah.
Oh, I just want to be in the audience.
Yeah.
I just want to see. I'll be sitting in the other room and watch on the closed circuit.
Can you just put a balcony up for me?
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, really,
Is it over yet? I don't think so. So we have our friends Jay Burns, and we've lost 15 watchers just since they started talking.
Yeah, no shit.
No.
I didn't know you could have negative watchers.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, that means we're blocked. No,
Yeah, exactly.
People constantly pop in and out on this show. So no, we're really excited to have these guys back because as we talked about on their last episode, a couple of years ago, they have a production company called Flannel Polyester.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about what's been going on with that since, obviously COVID put a damper on everything, but have you guys started putting on more shows?
Oh yeah, we've been very busy
because we don't know. We don't get called for those. So
yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've done no, that's not true because I've done exactly none.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Oh, salty party of two. Your table's ready. God, my ankle's gonna explode with that much salt.
That's the diabetes, buddy.
No. You know where the diabetes come from?
Yeah.
Driving through your friggin' neighborhood.
Yeah.
Honeysuckle Drive, Ginger Trail, Jasmine Lane.
Thanks for giving away my address.
I was gonna say
some psycho is gonna show up at my fucking door tonight. I just followed Brian's directions.
Yeah, exactly.
I went down Honeysuckle Lane, took a left at Jasmine Trail, and went to Ginger Trail.
And now I'm down to 8 toes.
Yeah, all right.
Let me have some scotch.
No, seriously. So what? You guys have started producing shows again?
Yeah, we started back in May. We came out. We had Martha's 95th birthday.
Oh yeah,
which sold out, and then we've done what now 8 shows now.
Oh wow,
8 shows now.
Where do you do them? Do you do them at the same place, or do you do them at different places?
We actually have a couple different rooms. So we've been doing shows at the Sunnyside. We have one coming up on November 28th.
That we're not in.
That we're not in.
So it's going to be a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Eddie's in.
So, Eddie Galvin. Great.
We call it Get Stuffed.
Yeah.
And it's going to be just an 18+ show. And then
with Eddie, really? He doesn't do kid shows anymore?
Well, we were going to have him do a bar mitzvah ahead of time, but we couldn't get the floral arrangements in time. So
and he's a little shaky with the knife.
Yeah, right.
That's not what you do at a bar mitzvah. You've been going to the wrong type of.
Yeah, it's not. That's a bris.
Yeah,
that's not a bris. Oh my god.
Shabbat shalom, bitch.
Yeah, right? you got your schmear in the wrong place, buddy.
Oh my god. How did I know? So you got the one on the 28th at the Sunnyside. Where else are you doing them?
We've been doing at our good friend Thomas Ellie's at the Rosario. We've been doing them at Lincoln Country Club.
Oh, nice.
With Thomas Ellie's up there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been all over.
That's awesome. Yeah, Lincoln Country Club. In fact, a buddy of mine who belongs there was like, "Hey, I just was at a comedy show. How come you're not there?" I go, "Who was on it?" And then he said that he went up to you guys, and I said, "Yeah, tell him to get me on the next show."
So I got to tell you a story about that. So we had the show before this last one. Someone came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm really good friends with this comic, and I don't want to say their name, but I'm really good friends with this comic. If you get them on the show, I'll on the next show here, I'll bring a party." And I'm like, "Hey, even a table of 8 would be fine. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right.
Like I'll do that. So I booked the comic. That night, the guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, is this comic here?" And I said, "No, he's coming a distance. So
Yeah.
let's take him a little bit." Yeah, that guy. And he goes, "Well, tell me when he gets here." I said, "Oh, did you already get your tickets for the show? And did you get a table? Because we didn't reserve tables."
Yeah.
"Oh no, I'm not staying for the show."
What?
So
I
you
said-
booked the person.
And they
because
came
he
and they
promised-
came a good distance.
Yeah.
So like and it was for feature money, which is not bad. But I mean, it's not like
it's not the headliner,
you know what I mean.
right.
Like it's not an hour drive. I wouldn't have feature code from that far.
right.
But so I was like, "Oh, you're not staying for the show?" And literally he goes, "Oh no, I'm not staying. Just tell him to come downstairs to the other bar, and because I want to see him. We have a party for him downstairs." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
So not only did he not stay for the show, he came
Had another party downstairs.
After this comic set, he sat with the comic and wouldn't shut up.
So he came up for the comic set,
Talk
sat
over.
for the whole set in the back,
Yep.
did not pay me a ticket for it,
Right.
and then at the end after the comic set, sat with the comic and was talking so loudly,
Really.
the headliner had to yell at him, and then I had to walk over and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm not trying to be rude, but
you got to shut your friend up.
do something
Yeah.
about this," because
and then Martha slashed his tires.
yeah.
Martha can be
Oh my
vicious
God.
when she needs to be.
So was the other comic like? Did he understand?
Oh God,
or
yeah,
did-
absolutely.
He was probably mortified at
and
it,
he
right?
and he was
Especially
already
if
in
you
the
told
process.
him the backstory.
Yeah, and he was already in the process of like trying to get him outside
right
when
right.
I came over, but like at that point, like the audience was looking over, so
Right,
that's why
right.
I had to do something. But
you know,
man,
and
I was
that's
so-
Yeah, my
that's a
friend wouldn't do that.
that's a good tip.
He's a member.
But that's a good tip for people when you go see a friend perform at a comedy show, especially when you're going to see someone that's new to comedy. I know you're excited to see your friend.
Yeah.
I know you're there to support him, which is great. Thank you for going out and do that.
Yeah.
But there are other comedians on the show.
Right.
And
You need to respect them.
Right. Some of them are new and some of them are seasoned. Some of them are professionals. Respect every performer that's on the show.
And pay to get in.
And yes,
And pay, yeah.
and that's what
Cheap
I was
son
getting
of
to
a bitch.
too. That's a way to support them is to pay to get
Yeah,
in, so that
absolutely.
these guys can continue to get paid spots.
Right.
You know, because this poor guy now is going to wonder, will they ever book me again? Because
this
my friend
asshole-
wrecked the
yeah.
show and they paid me for a spot that these guys didn't pay for a ticket.
Right.
We just took $15 out of his envelope.
yeah. But you know, and the other thing too is I'm very much a big proponent of not only that, but look, even at a contest, even if you're there to see one specific comic,
right.
you can still enjoy the
Right,
other
right,
comic.
Right.
Like it's about have a good night out. I get you're seeing your friend, but have a fun night out. That's the whole purpose.
You
We're
can-
not here
Right.
to none of us are going to get famous from this crap.
Well, that's why I hate the we're going to judge the contest on audience
yeah.
response, because then they feel the need to not do anything for anybody else.
Yeah, and it's just who brought the most people.
Right.
Yeah. I
At the end of the night.
Yeah.
So, though I have seen, I was involved with it in a contest one time. I came in second, and the guy that came in first and myself who came in second got more votes from a group of people that another
that
guy
came to
brought.
someone
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Because
That
they're
happens.
like, "What? You guys were funnier than him," and we're like, "Yeah, but you're his friend."
Well,
Right.
that happened. I did a contest for Brian. Was hosting a
Oh,
contest, and I came in. I took the bullet because he was worried. You know, we kind of rigged the order. Only because it was all new kids.
kids.
It was all
Yeah.
new kids, and it was a pretty wild crowd. Like they were.
Yeah, right. Well, and they were there to see their friend. And that was
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. And so I took the bullet, and I ended up winning. I ended up getting
Third
third.
place.
But people were like, "Oh, you were just so good, and like we loved you so much that we decided to vote for you instead of this person." I'm like, "Oh, okay,
The person that
rock on."
they came
Yeah,
for,
like,
right?
Yeah, that almost feels awkward, even though it's a
Oh,
compliment.
it is. It's
Yeah.
totally.
You're so awkward.
Well, they were
because-
standing right next to me. Their friend
Right.
was right next
Right,
to me.
right,
I'm like,
exactly.
"Oh, that's bad."
Jay,
Yes,
you do know that at Stephanie's table, there was 2 tables with stacks of ballots.
I know. Thanks for ruining it for me again. No, I know. Thanks for. And then that night he goes, I made sure I didn't count your ballots. Kinda. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for making me feel wonderful.
I
That's
did
awesome.
one crumple.
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
crumple.
exactly.
Was this a contest you were running?
Well, more or less.
Yeah. Look at
We have to say yes.
Yeah.
Legally, we have to say yes.
I only put on one.
Legally, I can't even tell you who.
Very true. Absolutely.
I only ran one contest one time.
Yeah.
Over the course of a summer at this open mic on a Sunday night I was doing, but many years ago. I can't remember how long ago. And I just decided to have the staff at this bar do the voting.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Took myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I just said the bartender and the 3 waitresses, they're going to vote.
right.
I said, because I don't want to do the crowd, because again, if one guy brings all the people or
25
whatever,
people, right.
those 4 are going to be here every single week. They're going to see every comedian, so they can vote each week, and then they can vote in the finals, type of thing. And this one comic got wind of who was doing the votes.
Oh, and that's when he started tipping real good.
Oh yeah. And he made it to the finals. He didn't win, but I was like, that was smooth.
That's slick.
That was smooth.
That's slick.
He worked the system, but hey.
But you know what? That's a good side. That I actually don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, wait staff, bartenders at any type of comedy show, whether it's at a club or at a bar or at a restaurant, they have the shit end of the stick.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They always do. And it's like, definitely take care of them more than anybody
Absolutely,
else.
yeah.
Like listen to the comics, but just don't screw over a waitress or
Right,
a bartender.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
that is the worst thing you could do to a human being.
Yeah.
Well, there are some worse things.
Yeah.
No, I've not found anything yet.
Well, no, actually, let's talk about your new podcast.
I was just going to say,
'Cause that's a great
that's a good
segue.
segue. Very good.
actually,
It's like
there
you're
are worse
professional.
things. Let's go here.
So I think when you look at the popularity of podcasts, probably the top 3 categories are paranormal, which we spent the entire month of Scottober talking about,
Yay.
comedy,
Yeah.
and true crime.
True crime
And-
might even be the biggest.
And probably true crime is the biggest
Yeah.
because I honestly think if you do a true crime podcast, you're going to blow up. It's going to be huge.
yeah.
And so our buddy Jay just started a true crime podcast, but with a twist. And he was telling us about it before we
Yeah,
went live. And I
it's-
think it's a really great concept.
No one's thought of it before. It's all Disney
So-
crimes.
So
Yeah,
first of all,
it is.
yeah,
It's all Disney crimes.
Yeah. I
it's,
mean,
it's the strain. No one's
who
thought of
raped
this
Snow
before.
White? I mean, that
Whoa,
was a
whoa,
great
exactly.
whoa.
That was a great first
Who,
episode.
who put the Mickey and Sleeping Beauty's drink?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but
Hey.
hey, it wasn't me, Brian. It wasn't me. But so first of all, what's the name of the podcast?
So it's called Kill Smarter,
Okay,
and it's hosted by myself and Aaron Lidecker, another comic from
another
Rhode Island.
comic. Yep.
And before you get into too much of a description, when
Okay.
you first said the name of it, as a comedian, what do you think I was thinking when you said kill smarter?
Oh, I have no idea.
How to kill on stage.
Oh,
I thought you were
that
going to
makes
talk
perfect
about
sense.
writing
Yeah, yeah.
jokes
Why
and
would
delivering jokes
Why would
better.
I be the host of that podcast? That is such a bad idea.
I guess I gave you way
you
too
gave
much
me
credit.
way too much credit.
No, but I thought maybe it was something about joke writing or something. You
would-
just said
I'd like
kill
that
smarter.
idea.
It's interesting though, but when he said it, for some reason, even though I know he's a comic, I automatically went to what it is. I don't know why.
See, I'm
Maybe my
I'm going to announce my new
background
podcast called Kill Smarter Than Jay.
about comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I mean, that's not a hard thing to
but
do
it's-
to kill smarter than me.
but it is an interesting twist. So what do you guys do? Tell the audience.
So basically, what we do is it's a true crime podcast, and we talk about murder and serial killers,
Yep.
and then we go back and we kind of figure out what they did wrong and how we would do it better.
I love that.
You know, because
So you're basically teaching the next generation of serial
Well, I
killers
mean,
They're
but
how to
critiquing.
do it better.
They're critiquing murderers and serial killers.
to be fair, they're idiots. They're all
Oh
morons.
yeah, absolutely,
And so they deserve it. You know, it's
absolutely.
See Jen's comment.
Ted Bundy. I mean, you pick a yellow car. How bad does that fucking stand
seriously,
out? Right?
come on. In Washington State, come on. That's seriously. It's gonna
Jen,
stick out
our
everywhere.
friend Jen said, "Who drowned the Little Mermaid?" And our friend Robin just said, "I thought most serial killers were extremely smart." But you know what? I don't know if it's that they're
No, it's-
extremely smart. They think they're extremely smart, right?
Oh, Brian has something to say.
Uh-oh.
Gacy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He buried everybody under his porch.
right
Yeah.
under his porch. That's stupid, right?
He buried under his porch.
Yeah, yeah. No, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. Exactly.
But you know what? Really, like, look at Gacy. All right, so Gacy killed, I think, 16. He's convicted of 16 men,
Right,
young
suspected
men.
of more than that.
Suspected of way more.
But
Right.
and so one of the lures he used to do was magic. in order to get these kids to
Savage
like,
Right.
yeah, he would literally one of the things he actually did was he used the Chinese finger trap
Yes.
Right.
in order to like try
To
and help like
get
keep them from moving around too much and whatnot. But I'm like, come on, like think about that though. Why would you use that kind of magic? You know what I mean? Like you need real, not clown magic. You need like an actual hacksaw
Right.
magic. That's how you should be killing. That's what
Yeah.
Gacy did wrong. He should have been using actual hacksaw magic
Right.
instead of this shitty clown magic.
Yeah, I'm gonna saw you in half. Lay on this
yes,
table. Lay in this box.
exactly. Like you
Hey,
can
wait,
be my special
something's wrong
assistant.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, he was pretty successful.
Yeah.
He wasn't though.
Till he got
didn't-
caught.
Exactly. He,
Right.
I mean,
The only person he sawed in half was Sophie Tucker, and that's why
He's been trying to
He's
work
been
the
working
Sophie-
it in every time.
there.
He's been waiting.
He's been trying to work a Sophie Tucker
He's like a
joke in all
little kid.
night.
He's like a little kid with a shuttlecock. He's waiting for his moment.
Thank you. Good night.
I
Say
did it.
good night, Gracie.
Yeah, say good night, Gracie. Oh, Vin Giacavoni says, "Hey, you guys." Friend Robin says, "Oh, I hate
Vin, do we owe you
clowns."
money still? I don't know.
Yeah, we all owe Vin money. But yeah, no, you're right. I think that's such a great concept because they all got caught because, like our friend, was it Robin said, they're all narcissists.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're extremely smart, but they're narcissists. And that's what undoes them. They
Yeah.
get too cocky, they get too confident, and they slip up. BTK is another example.
Well, so BTK is really fascinating because he's one of the few that I don't ever want to cover on the show
really,
because he's so psychotic. I mean, that guy, like the creepiest picture that I've ever seen of BTK is him at his daughter's graduation.
yeah,
And if you hear about it, the night before, he had just raped and murdered somebody.
someone her age, right?
Yeah, literally her age. And it's like, that's to be able to compartmentalize in that way. is
Exactly.
absolutely
That's the
like
thing.
horrifying to me.
And that's the interesting thing too, is he took a long span. Like
Yes.
most serial killers, they have this need to kill. They have to. And for him to be able to suppress that for so many years before he started again.
And the other thing with a lot of serial killers is because it's such a weird addiction, I guess you want to say.
Yeah.
The moment you have your first kill, it escalates faster and quicker.
Right.
Almost every serial killer is that way. It's usually only a couple of years that they have of actual killing because they just need to do it more often and too often, and then that's when they start stumbling over themselves.
Right.
Where someone like BTK, he literally like you said,
years.
it was years of him. Like we cover somebody. Our first episode that came out a couple weeks ago. We covered. I was saying Nancy Doss, the giggling granny.
Yep.
So Nanny, that was her nickname. She actually, her first murder was when she was 21, I think it was 1950 something. No, 1920 something. And her last murder was 1953.
Wow.
So she had like
That's
30
something
years
Right.
of, you know what I mean? And she's got some extenuating circumstances. 4 out of the 9 people that she murdered were her ex-husbands, and they were all abusive, alcoholics, and
Right.
that
Does
kind of
that
thing.
really count?
Well,
I mean, murder is murder.
Murder is
whether
murder.
whether
Listen,
they're, I mean,
Eileen Warnos had
Yes.
great excuses
Yeah.
for why she did what she did.
right, because she wanted Charlize Theron to play her in the movie.
Right,
That's
and
why.
she did a great
And-
job.
And so that's a successful serial
Right.
killer.
Yes.
If that
Yeah,
was her
to me-
goal, she won.
To me, absolutely. I think she was. I mean, really, we were talking about her, like her problem was she kept getting insurance on all of the people she murdered before she murdered them.
Right.
So then the police finally were like, well, wait a minute. this woman from the 30s has $6 million.
Right,
What's
right.
going on here?
Vin Giacavoni just said, was she eligible for a pension after 30 years?
Yes, she
and
was.
Then Jen said, did you say 9 ex-husbands?
She had 5. She had
5.
She had
Okay.
technically she had 5 ex-husbands. She had 4 she murdered. The first one she got away.
I think I remember this case. on
It's
another
from the
thing. Yeah.
she was
It was the
arrested in
20s.
1953 and
Yep.
then she passed away in 1960 something.
Yep.
But she's a fascinating case, and the best part, if you look up pictures of her online,
Yeah.
she's the sweetest looking lady in the
Right.
world.
Right.
And then it dawned on me, she got arrested in 1953. She's something like 50 years old when she's arrested, and I'm like,
wow,
she looks like she's 90.
right? But they
Like,
used to look older back then.
I
you
don't
know,
I don't know if I can agree with
I
this.
listen. I look at pictures. I'm 53. well, there's no hope for him. He's
There's
10
none.
years younger than me, and he looks like he's 25 years older. I'm 53, but when I look at pictures of people that were 50s, in their 50s in the 70s,
yeah,
they looked way older than
Right.
me.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
I mean, we have it better now. I mean,
Well,
really
we
do.
don't smoke as much, I think.
Speak for yourself. No.
not cigarettes
Robin-
anyway.
Robin said, I can't find anyone to date, yet these broads
Yeah.
find husband after husband after husband. What's their secret? Jen goes, oh my God, I'm the same age as the murdering grandma.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Vin, I'm realizing Jay knows way too much about serial killers for me to ask for money anymore.
Nice, Vinny.
And our buddy,
Just remember that, Vin,
And
next
our-
time you ask.
our buddy Nick Albanese said, I think Grandma Martha is suspicious.
I mean, she's been suspicious for years. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's,
No, but I think that's a great concept for a
Yeah.
podcast, because a lot of people do true crime podcasts, but they don't break down like, okay, where's the mistakes?
Yeah,
And what would I have done differently in hindsight?
And I will say before,
Well, you're kind of ripping off OJ.
that is a fact.
You
that
know,
is a fact.
if I
don't
did
know.
it.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
I
know
did it, that was-
if I did it.
if
I don't
I
know what
did
you're
it.
talking about.
that was my favorite. And I will say this, just for no other, well, not no other reason, I shouldn't say that, but for many other reasons, like we do have a link on our website, on our podcast. We talk about a victims fund. We help the National
That's good. Yeah.
Center for Defense
Missing-
Victims.
yep.
No, not for missing, but for people who are victims of crime. The
Yeah.
National Center for Victims of Crime, because I mean, I hate to
Yeah,
glorify
you don't wanna
these
glorify
people,
it,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And
Yeah.
it's a shitty.
But it
No,
is-
but it's an interest that
It's a
people
different
have in this
take.
country because, like we said, true crime podcasts are hugely popular.
Absolutely.
And look at shows like Mindhunter
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Oh, absolutely.
How well that
So pissed
show
that
did.
thing went off. Look at Dexter's coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean,
so people have an interest, and
fascination.
I think the fascination that people have is, how does somebody's mind work that's like this?
right.
Absolutely.
Because
And
they all
That's what-
have,
right.
if you notice, they all have a different reason for rationalizing or compartmentalizing what you say. Like I brought up
See?
Dexter.
yeah.
I brought up Dexter. He looks at it as, and I know it's a fictional TV show,
Oh no, but I mean, there
his,
It's based on.
but his thing
mean-
was, I only kill people who are bad people.
Yeah,
I
right,
don't
yeah.
kill anyone who's
he,
innocent.
but-
he only kills criminals.
he
Yeah.
kills criminals.
But then,
right.
but then here's the line: the difference between him and an actual the serial killer in the real world is, where's your definition of a bad person?
right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, yeah, there's people like, look at, I mean, again, Nanny Doss.
Yeah.
She knew that these people that she killed, not all of them, one of them was an infant, but were bad people, and
Right.
that's why they had to die. You know what I mean? Or even look at mass murderers. You look somebody like Jim Jones,
Yeah.
from the Jonestown massacre. He did this because he was convinced
Yeah.
that he was doing good.
Yes.
You
Right.
know what I
He
mean?
thought he was saving all of
He
them.
thought he was
Absolutely.
saving them.
Yes,
And to be fair, Kool-Aid's a lot cheaper than Tang.
it's true. It's very true. Absolutely.
I love how, you know what?
we
were a
all
little bit
stopped.
worried,
We all stopped. That's my
but
favorite
it's
part.
funny because we were all worried tonight when Brian said he was coming in. Like we were going, I really hope Jay gets a word in, because last time Jay wasn't able to get a word in.
No,
And he's letting him go, and he's just interjecting. With,
I
with
love
funny shit.
Perfect.
that you get to expand on your podcast. You get deep
Yeah.
in the subject because it's a great and interesting subject. And then he just
For the audience
Welcome.
listening,
he just
Brian just took Jay's whiskey and poured it in his glass.
he just
now he's
comes
got
out with that
diabetes.
and now he's gonna
perfectly
he's
timed
7
line.
toes. He's only got 7 toes
Yeah,
now.
now he does.
I'm 3 toes down.
those orthopedic shoes are fitting a little tighter now.
Yeah, you
I
heard
got a
of that?
little more wiggle room in the toes.
Hey, you heard of that band 3 Doors Down? I'm 3 toes down. Starting a band.
Hi-oh.
Hey, no,
No, but I like you mentioned Jim Jones.
Yeah.
I was obsessed for the longest time with Jonestown.
Yeah.
And I watched documentaries.
Mhm. Me
I've
too.
seen the miniseries.
Yeah.
I read books on it and I think the thing that interests me the most is how did he get to that point mentally where he, you thought like that?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is we want to get inside their mind and understand how somebody gets to the point where they think like that. Because like you said, I don't think in his mind, he thought he was doing anything wrong.
No, he thought he was saving
Yes,
those people.
he
right.
honestly thought he was saving.
Well, it's like that.
Everything he was doing was right.
It's a weird combination of things. I mean, I think too. I mean, someone was saying about them being narcissists. Absolutely, they're narcissists.
Oh, yeah.
They're all narcissists
Because they think they can save
Oh,
people.
absolutely.
But on the other hand, they all have things that happen to them that cause this.
Yeah.
Right,
But
right.
they're the same things that happen to us.
And so
And
why do we
we-
not
right.
respond the same
Right,
way?
but that's just it. We
Right.
responded in a different way.
Right.
All of us, I can guarantee, were bullied in our lives when we were children, when we were young.
Absolutely.
But the difference was
Absolutely.
we went inward and went to comedy. We decided to befriend everybody
Right.
with that pain, and these people caused more pain with that.
But
Right.
there's even
I did
people
drink
who
Kool-Aid,
didn't. No,
Technically,
but there's
to be
even,
fair though, that was
My mother-
it
My
was
mother wouldn't buy Tang.
it was Flavor Aid too.
But there's even people that don't do comedy.
Yeah.
That have been through this traumatic experience that don't go that route. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So
there's
what is it
gotta
about
be
them?
one other thing that's just that flint or that trigger that
doing a lot of research, reading about all these people, one of the things that always tends to come up, at least,
Mhm.
is traumatic brain injuries. And
It's funny. I just put it up. Our
Oh, is
friend Robin said a lot of these maniacs had terrible childhoods, full of abuse and really bad stuff. Also, many of them sustained head injuries at some point.
absolutely, and that really seems to be this weird thing.
trigger.
And we talk about, they all got a lot of, not all, but a lot of them were abused in some way. But we just hear the word abuse. We don't never necessarily know how it
The
how it
specifics,
manifests.
right.
And that can cause traumatic brain injury.
Right.
And so it just seems like that is one of those things that we all have this, but for some reason the little vial never gets shooken off of the shelf and breaks.
right.
That kind of it's a very
Vin said, "Is that where the term Jonesin for something comes from? Because you'd kill for it."
Actually, it comes
Hey,
from
Vin,
an
stick
Arabic
to your
word.
day job.
And that comes from an Arabic word.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jonesin?
No, it's bullshit. I'm absolutely lying
Well,
to you.
it's
Well,
bullshit what
it
Vin
is-
said too. So
it is where the
come on.
terminology for you drank the Kool-Aid came from.
right. Oh, absolutely.
That's
yeah.
where
It
that
is,
whole
it is.
terminology.
Actually,
definitely
no, that
did.
isn't where it came from. So they did Flavor Aid down to Jonestown. The Kool-Aid, you drank the Kool-Aid, is from Tim Leary. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, it came from Tim Leary.
Oh, this bad.
It was around the same time. So people always mix them up together.
You always have to one up me.
I don't always have to one up you, but I'm
Tonight, yes.
It's very rude. He's the host. And to be fair, he had us at the Bradley 17 years ago for 4 minutes. So you got to be nice to him.
It was 7 minutes,
yeah.
That's right.
and I have dates for next year. But guess who's not going to be on it?
I'm so sorry, Brian.
No,
We'll have Jay on.
Jay's not, but Brian, you're invited.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll bring the Flavor Aid.
There you go, buddy.
So we're correct.
You bring Tang, you get 2 dates.
Done and done. I'll bring Tang and an astronaut suit.
Yeah.
I was,
Oh my God.
I'm scared that you have one.
Yeah, I'm
What?
sure.
I'm scared that you have one.
That's where they drank on the
Oh,
moon.
No,
Louis
I know. I'm
Armstrong and-
scared that you have an astronaut suit. Is what I'm saying.
Louis Armstrong.
Did he just bring
Louis
up a Louis
Armstrong?
I know, I
Armstrong
heard
the
Just
other-
you.
said that's what they drank on the moon. Louis Armstrong and the
Skeet
other
Aldrich.
guy.
That's what they drank on the moon.
Wait, they didn't hear that one, so try it
Louis
again.
Armstrong and Skeet Aldrich. That's what they
It's Skeet
drank.
Aldrich.
Skeet
Yeah.
Aldrich. Oh my God.
Oh,
All
man.
right. Well, where do we go from there?
So
with the
where can
question?
people get your
Yeah, where can
podcast, Jay?
people get it?
It's on all of the places you can get podcasts: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
All of
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
It took me 3 days
That's-
of signing
I
on
know.
websites.
Yeah, we had
Oh,
to,
yeah.
we had to
God.
do the same thing. I
Yeah.
know.
And you
I
can
know.
you can follow us on all social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as Kill Smarter Pod.
Yep.
Also on YouTube. So we stream the show. We have the shows up, the full shows.
Yeah.
We have video just like you guys do. Not as nice. I do like this
Yeah,
platform much
StreamYard's
better.
awesome. We really love
I do love
StreamYard.
StreamYard. I need to invest and get it
Is
myself.
that what that is?
That's
Yeah.
StreamYard, yeah.
Yep. that's why we could do all this fancy
No.
stuff.
No, it doesn't look good.
Tasted.
It was a legit question.
Yeah, so now that you have a video, you almost have to have us back because the last time was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And you had to see it. Nobody can.
We definitely
All
do
right.
because it was such a great episode.
Jen said, "What's the name of the podcast again?" Because
called
evidently,
Kill Smarter.
Kill smarter.
Kill Smarter. And how many episodes are up right now?
Only 2 right now. Our
Okay.
next one gets released next Wednesday.
Okay.
So it comes out every Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday. It's
every other.
Yeah, every other.
Okay, and the 2 now. Who are the?
So the
Subjects?
first one is Nanny Doss.
Nanny Doss. I said Grandma Voss. It's Rich Voss's
Richard
grandmother.
Voss. Grandmother.
Richard Doss's grandmother.
Yeah, she would drown people in her own spit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then the second one is a Scottish murderer named Dennis Nielsen.
Oh wow.
Who's a fascinating guy who my favorite thing about him was he murdered people. He murdered them and then kept them around stuck them in his floorboards and then would take them out and like Netflix and chill with them.
Really?
Yeah, he would sit and watch shows with these bodies.
Wow.
And they
Male and female?
No, only male. He was homosexual.
Okay.
But the whole thing was police weren't sure if he was having sex with them or just
just
cuddling.
Netflix and
Yeah,
chill.
it was just a very platonic death thing.
Wow.
Like platonic necrophilia.
What years was he active?
He was in the 70s,
70s.
late mid 70s.
So it wasn't Netflix, it was more-
seems to be the decade of the serial
There
killer.
really
Wait,
is.
so it wasn't Netflix and chill. It was
No.
Blockbuster and chill.
It wasn't even
No, Blockbuster was around the
it was,
70s.
It was Sanford and Sons and chill.
Yeah.
That's what it really was. It was good times all the way. Good times
it was
anytime you need a payment.
CBS and chill.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question,
You
Weezy?
can ask. Yeah.
Now,
Yes,
he
George.
dug them up. This is not Netflix and chill. It's in the 70s.
Yeah.
So he still had to get up and change his own shit.
He did. He actually did have to get up and
So
change
he had
his
to
own
take his
channel.
arm off of the
Yeah.
Yes.
off his friend
Oh
to go
God.
change the channel. Did he make his dead friend hold the rabbit ears to make the reception
Yeah.
come in better?
He just covered them in foil.
As soon as rigor mortis set in and they were like this,
They were like
he'd
this.
put their
He'd
hand
wrap
up.
their bodies in foil so they'd come in
So
better.
bad.
Now I
Just
get
like this with a bowl of
UHF.
popcorn.
See, they thought he was a serial killer. He was just trying to get better reception.
Oh, my
Exactly,
God.
that's all.
Brutal.
That's all.
Write that down.
That is funny.
So I just put it up on the banner,
you.
Kill Smarter podcast. It's on all of the podcast platforms.
Absolutely. And on YouTube.
Definitely
like I said, you
check
can
it
watch
out.
on YouTube as well.
And if you ever want anyone to come on and talk about serial killers,
Yeah,
we love it.
we-
I'm big into
You know what?
serial
Yeah.
killers.
There is one, if you ever talk about him, Michael Ross from Connecticut.
Oh, I do. Okay, yeah, I think I know him.
He actually, one of his victims was my cousin's best friend in high school.
So
Oh, really?
That's the episode
Yeah.
we're doing with you.
You are now. No, but he killed her. Tammy Williams was her name, Brooklyn, Connecticut, and buried her in a cemetery of an old church right in Brooklyn, Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
That's where they found her.
Wow.
And she was good friends with my cousin Karen, and they went to high school together, right at Killingly High School, where I went to school and everything. And yeah,
That's, it's funny. I remember years when I was in high school, there was a murder right on the street near my high school.
Really?
And I'll never forget one night driving down that street and someone pointing to the house, and supposedly the person had cut the victim's throat and she had tried to jump out of a window, and so her body was on the window, and I guess if you looked, there was blood coming. Where it was
Cranston Street.
down there.
And
Yeah,
Hong Kong.
yeah, right there.
Oh, wow.
The blood was on the roof.
And that's what my friend would like point that out. And
Really?
But so what was creepy was the night he pointed it out to me, we were driving past, we were listening to the radio, and Smooth Criminal was on, and that
Really?
I'm literally getting goosebumps right now
When that
because
song comes on, that's what it
because
reminds
every
you of?
single time that song comes on, even when that stupid Alien Ant Farm version,
Oh, yeah.
like it still creeps me out just a tiny bit. And I
Really?
even driving by that house, I'm kind of like, oh, it's cleaned up now. You would never know,
Right.
but
But
yeah.
knowing that it was there.
Yeah, it's a one of those weird things.
Wow.
Yeah, we try to get really extreme, like psychopaths.
Yeah.
Because we don't.
Not the run of the mill general psychopath.
well, and that's what I like is the people you're describing are not the ones that everybody
They're not
knows.
the mainstream, like you said. Like I
like-
said, Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
or
Bundys, the
Gacy.
Gacy's, the ones that everybody
the
knows.
other
You,
Yeah, I mean,
people.
like, and plus, also a lot of these other people, you feel awful. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You really feel awful about. Like, I don't want to cover something like that crime in Cranston.
Yeah.
Because it's just not. There's no But we cover a woman, Catherine Knight from Australia.
Mhm.
I told you about her. We covered her, and basically what she did, she was so angry at her husband, she killed him. She was a butcher, so she skinned him, then cut his head off, boiled his head, set plates out for his adult children, cut pieces of his buttocks off, fried them, made roasted potatoes and other vegetables, put them all on the plate, and then the cop showed up.
Wow.
Because she tried to kill herself and didn't take enough pills.
Oh
And so
my
they
God.
showed up and
after
she was just
the meal.
after the she didn't eat
So
them.
they had already eaten.
No.
them?
The
Oh.
kids never showed up. She just set plates out for the kids.
Oh.
But because she hated them so much and she hated him that much. But like that's fucking see my
She
whole
pulled
problem.
she pulled a fucking Arya Stark.
Yeah. But see my whole
Wow.
problem with it. Why roast fucking potatoes?
Right.
That's way too much work.
Well,
for
you
this.
got to have a
Do some
starch with your
instant-
protein.
Yeah, but you could
she
have
was
done
already-
instant
see,
stovetop stuffing.
But see, here's the thing: she was already.
But does stovetop really go with ass meat?
But she was already making a
I don't
soup.
know.
Right, Brian? Back
Rump-
me up on this.
She was
Potatoes are a much better side dish with that.
Rump-
Yeah, you need your
rump
starch.
roast.
Thank you.
It
she was
does it go
already-
with rump roast?
she was already making a soup out of his head, and I'm sure the kids were like, "Well, I don't want fucking soup anymore."
Yeah, you
And so
wouldn't.
she made kids make you make a second fucking meal. I'm already cooking something. You know, why would you make a second meal? That's where she screwed up.
That's because kids are entitled nowadays.
It is. That's exactly
When
the
we
problem.
grew up, you got served what was
I'm
made.
not eating
Exactly.
this soup. Fine, you're getting rump roast.
Exactly. You don't want these potatoes, just eat your father.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or he's going to be waiting for you for breakfast.
Robin
With
said,
your Vegemite.
Robin said, "Waste not, want not."
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Oh
My favorite
God.
part about that crime, though, was a couple of the cops that first came in to the so literally she skinned
They
them.
walk through and they go,
Something smells
I'm hungry.
delicious.
So, about half a dozen of them. I mean,
Are you going to finish that?
we're absolutely sickened by it. 3 of the dozen, so half, gave up meat for months.
Oh,
Went
yeah, I would.
vegetarian completely because of the scene, seeing like all the
Jen said, "Did they serve a nice Chianti
I was
with it?"
just gonna say,
Yeah,
what do you serve to
exactly.
drink with?
Served it with a
Well,
Chianti
I mean,
and a nice
she w-
fava
and
beans.
fava beans.
She's from Australia, so it was a nice Foster's.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
was.
Foster's.
Foster's.
It's Australian,
Australian for beer.
Australian for soup.
Exactly.
Fathers.
Yes,
Australian for soup.
And oh, look, we have merch now.
Oh my God. You can get your own Father's Australian for soup
Fathers.
t-shirt.
Australian
It's going
for
to be one of
soup.
those big stock pots with a head
Yeah.
floating out of it.
Just floating
Just
out
2
with-
eyes
Yeah,
peeking
yeah.
out of the pot.
Or like half a
like
half
Kilroy.
a head.
Yeah. All right. Oh my
Oh.
God.
I can't eat my father. He repeats on me.
The problem with the
Dad
problem,
never agreed with me.
The problem with your father is because he looks like Miyagi. So
Yeah,
you
right.
want to eat him again in 20 minutes.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't like that racist type of humor. I don't
Have
go
you
for
seen
that.
his dad? He does.
He does look like
Looks
Miyagi,
like
doesn't he?
Miyagi.
It's like fat Miyagi.
That's
I
so
love
funny.
Miyagi.
So,
I borrowed his car tonight.
Brian.
There's a rickshaw up front. my
so
legs are killing me.
Brian, let's talk about your
Yes.
podcast called Mothballs and Butterscotch.
First of all,
You
what's
have-
a podcast?
Yeah, you have to have a tin can and some string in order to
Exactly,
hear it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
the only way to get it is go Klondike 575.
Yeah.
You want to listen to his? You got to crank up.
So basically, my podcast is I get Shecky Green and Pat Cooper and a Ouija board, and we just talk to all their friends.
Tune in, Joan Rivers.
It's-
That's a great. We should do that as a podcast. Actually,
that would be funny.
A Ouija board? I don't think so.
Hey, you don't know, man. People will love that shit. Paranormal podcast, one of the
it'd be-
top
it'd
3.
be-
Let me know how that
Hey.
how you make out with that.
Problem is, if I do it with Shecky Green or Pat Cooper, they shake, so the thing goes on.
Right.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, it's coming in Morse code.
Exactly.
We'll call it Tales from the Script.
Oh.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down. Oh my God.
And just think, originally we were just going to talk about road stories.
I love how he poured yours into his, and now 10 minutes later he pours his into yours
I finished mine first
because he realized, oh, I guess I took too much.
No, that's not why.
That's not
why.
No.
The bottle's all the way over
Yeah,
there.
that's
We
exactly.
could bring it over. It's not
No,
a
you're all
big
hooked
deal.
up. You just,
That's all right. All
listen.
right. That's fine.
No, we're all hooked up like in the media room in school in second grade.
That's right.
I feel like we're gonna get the air test.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
right. What hand?
Mike Murray's like, I got nothing.
This isn't funny, guys. This
This
isn't
isn't
funny at
fun.
all.
Stop fucking with me.
I don't think the telephone are working.
He doesn't sound anything like me. How do you know? You don't know.
I love how that night that he said, he goes, dude, you don't sound nothing like me. You don't do the best impression of me, John Morris. I go, John Morris makes you sound like special needs. He's like, I'm Mike Murray. Hi. I'm like, that sounds more like you. Okay, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
Jalapeno.
I hurt my knee.
Yeah.
And then Jen goes, with all the impersonations, you guys know you could totally do Tales from the Script. Bring Joan Rivers, Robin Williams, and Chris Farley. Yeah. Can we talk? Can we talk here?
Oh, okay, Robin Williams. Okay,
That was a good Robin. That was very good.
that's all I can do. Is
I can't do
okay.
Let's talk about living in a van down by the river.
All right, so it ended there.
All right.
My name
No
is
voice.
Matt Foley.
No, I can't do a Chris Farley either.
I can when I have a voice, but I can't tonight.
You and I are the
No,
only, you're the only other person.
Cal Verducci does the best Matt Foley
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
ever. Well, actually, what his bit used to be is Chris Farley if he was reading like books on tape, and halfway through the book he'd get frustrated because he couldn't pronounce the words, and then, oh my god!
So one of my favorite. This actually goes right into what I was just about to say. One of my favorite nights with Ace was it was at the Connection.
Don't tell everyone about
Not that one, the other one.
all right.
We were at the Connection, and you and I realized we love a good Gilbert Gottfried, but there's two Gilbert Gottfried voices. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I was telling him my favorite Gilbert Gottfried clip of all time was, I don't even know what it was on, but it's a fake commercial for him doing the audio version of 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
And it's just him going, he touched my vagina. It was so wet. I couldn't believe. And it's just, and it goes.
I was quivering.
I know.
It was amazing.
His giant shaft kept, and it's just these clips of these women listening, like on like Walkmans, just going.
Of him doing it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so brilliant. It's so funny. Yeah. I love sexual content.
It's my favorite.
No, what was the documentary where they all told that famous?
The
Aristocrat.
Aristocrat. The Aristocrat.
The
His-
Aristocats.
It's a Disney movie.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
Hey, dicks.
Everybody.
So speaking about pussy,
His version in that.
Oh yeah,
kills
yeah,
everyone.
absolutely.
Everyone.
And that was after 9/11.
Right,
That was,
I
forget
know.
whose roast it's on,
Yeah,
but it's,
well, yeah, he was doing a roast, I think, at the Friars Club. He was bombing, and he goes into
Yeah.
the
into the
Aristocrat
Aristocrats.
and just killed.
yeah, because he did
Absolute
a
joke.
very he did a joke about something like the planes going in.
Yeah, he did.
9/11.
and it was, I mean, it's at the Friars in New York, so everyone
Right.
returns it. And I mean,
he goes, "Fuck it."
yeah, literally. But like, what gets me is I know a couple of comics that love to do that, like dig themselves into the ground
Yes.
and just do
But not
anything
everyone
they
can
can.
do that.
No,
No.
there is only like 2 comics around here that
can
I
do
know that can
yeah.
do it well, and everyone else just sucks eggs at it.
And that's why I would never try it, because
No.
I know I could never do that.
Have you ever tried that?
no, God no,
Purposely bury yourself and try to get out?
Never. I
Have
mean,
you ever done that, Brian?
Just last week.
You mean at Lemongrass?
Yeah.
You mean that was on purpose?
The last 2 bad shows I've done were with you.
Oh,
There's a
Am I right?
patent. It's a patent.
Let me tell you, I don't consider Lemongrass necessarily a bad show. That was a weird
It's a
night.
bad
The
audience.
that wasn't the
I
worst
literally
I've
just went
ever
to get a
been.
sip.
The one on Labor Day weekend at the pool party
That's what I'm
was
talking about.
horrendous.
My black cat just walked in the room. Speaking of omens,
I know. Seriously.
hold on. I got to get
Listen.
up and refill my guests.
My luck can't get any worse than this. So
And
Wow.
all I'm gonna say
Jay
is,
Burns is crushing right now.
all I'm gonna say, Brian, is notice who booked both of those gigs.
Oh yeah, that's 100%.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. The lemongrass, the audience was just way off.
They were weird that
The
night.
whole
They were just weird that night.
You have an ice too? Can I steal an ice cube too?
might I have one too, please?
At Lemongrass that night, every comic that got up there.
Listen, massage your Adam's apple. I had a friend told me that works.
Oh my
you
God.
wouldn't have lost your voice
Yeah, right.
if you did what I told you.
I know.
Well, that didn't sound
What were you
rapey at
gonna
all.
say?
That
Yeah.
didn't
That was
sound-
not.
No,
No,
not
nothing.
at all.
Nothing creepy and
You
rapey
wouldn't
about
hurt
that.
you.
And we just lost 8 viewers.
Yeah, seriously.
No, so what were you saying about that night? There were only what comics that didn't something.
No, all of us, had moments with that crowd that was just a little off that night at Lemongrass. So, I wouldn't say
Yeah, no, it was a weird crowd.
it was just a weird crowd.
Like,
that
I got
night.
up.
For that
like,
room.
I got up. Yeah, but like
I
when
mean, come
got
on,
up
they brought out a fucking birthday cake
right before my
right
set.
before his set.
Oh man,
It was just the whole night was out of sync. It was just weird. It was just really weird.
Part of me loves that. So Ace and I did a show with Tom at Pub 65.
Yes.
And literally before Ace's set, it's like, who was it? It was you. Was it? No, it was some guy in the front. Got up and went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so Tom Stewart's about to like bring up Ace, and Ace like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom too, and then just goes.
Yes.
So Tom had to
I
like,
made him wait.
yeah.
I go, you know what? That's a good idea. I go to the bathroom too. Because I'm not going to get up on stage while the guy sitting literally in the front row is going to walk back from the bathroom. So I go, fuck it. I'll go to the bathroom too. And I made Tom do time.
Yeah.
That's
and that
funny.
was the most fun I've ever seen Tom struggle.
I know.
Isn't
It was
that
fun.
isn't that the I don't know why. We talked about bad gigs. That's one of the staples on this show is the funny bad gigs we ask our guests all the time. We're re-releasing tomorrow's episode that comes out on all the podcast platforms is an episode that we did in season 2.
Two?
It was actually season 2, right at the beginning of season 2, called It's a Bad Gig When.
Oh. Yeah.
And what we tried to do is come up with the top 10 things that as comics, when you walk in a room, if you see any of these 10 things,
Run.
Yeah.
this is going to be a
Right.
bad gig.
Yeah.
We couldn't narrow it down to 10, so we came up with a top 12.
Okay.
And Mike McCarthy, and John Parada were on the show with us when we came up with this list. So between the two of them, there was six.
That's one of them right there.
Yeah, right. John goes, did I book that?
Yeah,
Bro.
when we brought up examples, he goes, "Is that one I booked, brother?"
Probably.
But between the two of them, there was 65 years experience.
Yeah.
But you still have these other moments that happen, and one of the ones we talk about all the time is the crowds that we walk off stage like that sucked, like Lemongrass.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, and then we're standing there at the end, and people are leaving, going, "That was so much
Yeah.
fun! You
I'm
guys
like, what
were
show
great."
were you at?
Yes, exactly. That's a comment I make all the time. Is were we at the same show?
Right. Yeah.
I did a show up in this little cafe in Pawtucket with a bunch of comics, and literally the entire audience did not laugh. Didn't even look like they smiled at all. And all of us are looking at each other the entire time like, what is going on? As they're leaving, we all sat outside, and like, this is when I was smoking, and we're all outside having cigarettes and like hanging out, and every single person in that crowd walked up to us, "Oh man, that was the funniest show I have ever." Like, laugh,
Well,
tell
you
your
know what?
face
Wait,
that.
Yes.
Methadone clinic?
Yeah, that's what
I
it felt like.
I think I've said it on the podcast before. The night I recorded my CD in Portland, Maine.
Yes.
I purposely picked Portland, Maine because I didn't want a home crowd.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do
And that club usually is
Crush.
Yeah.
excellent.
So the first
Connection, right?
the first
Yeah.
connection in
It was
yeah.
always a good crowd up
The
there.
first crowd had 4 bachelorette parties in it.
Whoa.
So it was a good crowd, but they were yelling out a lot and they were very loud. So I said, well, that's all right. We've got the second show that night. That'll get, and we'll mix the two. I could use absolutely nothing from the second crowd because they smiled the entire time. They came up to me after and said, that was so hilarious. We had such a great time. And I'm like, could you have fucking laughed?
Yeah.
Because I needed that for my CD. I needed laughs on the CD so people knew I was funny.
There's a couple.
You guys did not do a fucking thing for me. You cost me more money with Bob fucking Marley's sound engineer to record my fucking CD. And I could only use one show, and it was the loud, drunk, obnoxious, bachelorette parties.
There's a couple of comics that they friendly with and fans of that they were doing CD recordings, and they're all like, you can't come to the show because your laugh is so distinct and it'll like throw everything off,
right? Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. Something. And that's usually how it happens. You can have 25 amazing fucking shows.
Yeah.
As soon as you hire someone for $500 or $1,000 to record you, that's when you get a shitty show.
Absolutely.
It's consistently. I've got better recordings on my phone of shows than I have on my CD.
No,
it's
not
crazy.
me. I've gotten out of the habit of recording on a regular basis, which is so dumb. Because especially nowadays, I got the Apple Watch and I have an app called Just Press Record. I literally can press it on the watch and record while I'm on stage. But do I ever remember to do it? No. And I'll do a couple of good sets and I'm like, I should have recorded those. And then when I finally remember to do it, it's a horrendous set. It's not one you want to remember.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Now, you guys were talking about people going to the bathroom right before your set.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. I got booked New Year's Eve at a country club.
You stayed up for New Year's Eve?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I'm still waiting for Guy Lombardo to come back. I still got tickets for the Waldorf Astoria from 1977. Just waiting.
With Lawrence Welk.
Exactly.
That's right. And the one and the two.
So I get booked for this gig. It's just me and a DJ, right? Well, right before I'm supposed to go on, a guy doesn't get up, go to the bathroom. He has a heart attack.
No.
Boom, right down in his soup. All right. So now, luckily, there's a kid there that's
a lifeguard.
No, I don't know. The kid was a cop or an EMT or something. So he's working on the guy, right?
Wow.
But it's like The Sopranos. Who's screaming? Who's wailing? Who's crying?
Right.
There's guys at the bar saying, "Oh, this guy will do anything to get out paying for his bill. I'm gonna eat his prime rib."
Right.
I'm like, "What the hell is this?" Right?
They're busting balls while the guy's having a
The
legit
rescue
heart
comes,
attack.
He goes. They take him off, and I'm like, everybody's still hysterical, and I'm like, I can't tell jokes now.
Yeah.
So I go up to the guy that booked me, big guy. He was in concrete, right? And I'm like,
Yeah, and you'll be in concrete
you'll be
if
in
you don't
concrete
do.
if you
so
don't
I
do
said
it.
to the
Show.
other guy, his friend, I'm like, I don't think I can go on. So he says, don't worry. He said, go over, goes talk to the guy. He's like, well, Brian, I don't think I can go on. The big guy looks at me. He's like, yeah, I don't see that it's a problem. I'm like, okay.
Is this who I think it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. All right.
He actually passed away.
Did he?
Yeah.
The guy that had the heart attack?
No,
No.
Oh.
Oh, the one I'm thinking. Oh, wait.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
You know who it is. I'll tell you later.
I did a show one time, a fundraiser. I was closing the show, and it was an older crowd. One of those crowds that Parada would say, "This reminds me of a show I did last week at the Cedar Crest Nursing Home. Let me make you feel at home.
Next
Feel more
week-
comfortable. B7."
Yeah. Next week I'm opening the Ponderosa.
I go up there and I'm like 10 minutes into doing 40,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden there's this right up front older couple, look like they're in their 80s, and the woman's going, like clutching her chest and rubbing her chest like this, and then the husband's leaning over and he's talking to her, and I'm like just kind of trying to go along, and finally I just go, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Oh, I'll be fine." And I go, "No, seriously, are you okay?" Because it's like, I can't keep going on with the show watching this.
Right.
And she goes, "He just can't find my nitro pills." And I go, "Well, let's find those." Okay.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really important.
That's priority
right now.
number
Kind of a
one
priority,
right now.
right, exactly.
And he goes, "But I don't want to miss the show."
Oh my
And I
God.
go, "But you're going to
Wow.
miss your wife
Yeah,
if we
right.
don't find those fucking pills."
She's
man.
lived long enough. Fuck her.
So
We're gonna
we're
make soup out of it tomorrow.
Hey, she's got some good ass meat. We're gonna make a rump roast tomorrow.
Our friend Robin said husband head soup.
Yeah.
And then Jen goes, LOL, boom, head right down in his soup.
Wow, Jen and Robin are still watching this.
They're still watching.
Thanks
Yeah.
for hanging
They
in.
are.
Yeah, look
they
at
are-
him.
They are
They
the
are
most
our two
loyal
best. Absolutely.
watchers.
We
But-
love them.
That was those words that were up there.
That's what those words are. That's his
Yeah,
behind
that's
the
what
funny
that-
now.
Yeah. Although, hold on,
Hold on.
because we did change it.
Uh-oh.
We did change it.
Oh, we
Hold on.
did. We did change it.
Yeah.
Fuck Scott Higgins.
There we go. Welcome to the new podcast, Fuck Scott Higgins.
We like to do that every once in a while.
It comes on as a simulcast with Kill Smarter Than Jay
That's
Burns.
right. Kill smarter than Jay Burns.
That's called a callback, kids.
Fuck Scott
That's
Higgins.
right.
Hey, Scott Higgins live production.
It's a fucking. It's a whole plug fest now.
Oh, what are we plugging?
I don't know why I'm talking like Brian all of a sudden. It just happens.
You get stuck in impressions
I do, I get
sometimes.
I do
stuck.
too. I do
Especially
too.
because I have no voice, so
He
it
cannot
works.
do an impression.
Yeah.
No.
It either turns out it's either
I know.
Bill Hickey or a
Bad
bad
Pete-
Columbo. I gotta ask one more question. That's all.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
He wants you to.
I'm sorry to bother you.
He wants you to say the blessing.
My favorite though is so we work at a bar, and anytime the phone rings at the bar,
It's an old rotary phone with
it's
no
a-
dial.
yeah, it's an old
No
rotor,
dial.
and
So
so
you can only get calls in. So if somebody breaks in, we're dead.
You can't just pick it up and go, Margaret, connect me to the
Yeah,
police
all right.
station.
Klondike 575.
Yeah, Klondike 575.
Prescott 52749.
Johnny, play me out.
But every time he answers, he always answers the phone the same way. He's fine. He's, because he's like Brian, he's like entertaining everyone at the bar. And then the phone rings. He picks up, shine, shine. Every time.
You've reached the Sunny Side Club. Say the blessing. How about a stogie?
Can you
It's
record?
a popover.
Hey,
That's my
Grizz.
favorite.
Yeah, hey, Grizz.
Where are my stogies?
Robin said, haha, Klondike 5. You guys are killing it.
We're killing it in
Listen,
1965.
Listen, there he goes into the ragtime.
Sorry.
We absolutely, this is what Behind the Funny is all about. It's just comics bullshit and talking about behind the funny. And this was so much fun.
Well, this is what.
Well,
I think we're done with this shit here.
That's not,
Drink fast.
I know, seriously.
did that sound like a wrap
We
up?
drink fast.
No.
We just
No.
drink fast. We just got the hook.
No, the idea behind the funny was the conversations in the green room, the hanging.
Yeah,
in the
and that's
green room.
basically what this was.
That's really
you
what
know?
it was.
And when I used to be able to hang back there with comedians for the first time, get to know them a little bit, and then just shoot the shit.
Shoot
with
the
them.
shit, yeah.
So that was the idea. That's why we don't work off a script, and we just chat and get to know people.
And talk.
And it's always fun when we get to hang out with friends like you guys tonight and
Absolutely.
talk. And Jay, I love the idea of your podcast. Looking forward to listening to that, man.
Yeah, we look
And if
forward to
you
having you
ever-
on.
Yeah, seriously. I'd love to come on.
We like
If
to.
you ever do Grandma Dynamite, was it Grandma Dynamite or Grandma something?
Is that JJ? Well,
I know, right?
JJ's grandmother. Dynamite.
Grandma
Again with the
James.
No, Grandma Dynamite was on the Flintstones. There was a grandma something, another grandma that like
James.
her whole family, her kids and grandkids got
Yeah.
into the business. And I heard it on a true
Of
crime
murder?
podcast.
Business of murdering?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, I didn't know
and
you could
beef.
incorporate as a murderer.
It's an LLC.
Very limited. Very limited.
Anyway, if you ever do a thing on her, I'd
All
love
right.
to. But our friend Jen said, Ace, I'm glad that you had a voice this week.
Some of your voice.
Very little.
Yeah.
I'm on a prednisone burst. So
Yay.
this is 2 days in, so it's coming back. Follow us on all our social media. Check us out on Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, which is the channel that we're on all the time. And
Behind the funny
it's fun
can be
for us viewers to see 4 people live it live in the Acement. It's a
Yes.
funny group therapy session. We love
Thank you,
this
Robin.
setup. Honestly, Robin,
this is good.
this is what our plan was. COVID obviously knocked it out a little bit, but this is what we'd like to be doing is live shows in the Acement studios, just like this with guys like this. So
Yeah,
it's
this was fun.
awesome. And Jen agrees. So
Definitely.
I'll let Scott talk.
But if you want to follow Behind the Funny, definitely go to our Facebook page, Behind the Funny Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter, Behind the Funny Pod. If you guys have any questions, suggestions, comments, Behind the Funny Pod at gmail.com as well.
Yeah, please
and again,
email us.
Yeah, definitely. If you're outside the New England area, maybe there's a comic that you guys like or know that's local to your area we may not know about. Shoot us their name. We'd love to discover some new people, talk to some new people.
Honestly, that's how we got Mo Mandel.
Yes, and that was a great interview.
We had a fucking blast with
him. Mo was fantastic. He was a great guy and just a great conversation. So we loved, getting to know new people. So if you have somebody like that, please suggest them to us. We would love to get to know them. And of course, like we mentioned earlier, please help us out by suggesting us to one of your friends and recommending us. And of course, that 5-star written review, great way to help the podcast.
Absolutely.
And I think that about covers it.
So, Brian and Jay, what can we promote for you? Obviously,
first things
Flannel
first.
Polyester.
First things first. Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
L'chaim.
man. This was so much fun.
What's that mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, I got an uncle doing L'chaim at the ACI.
You know that was a fucking setup. You know they do that on their show.
That was perfect.
No, thanks for having us.
Hey,
and
thank you
listen,
very
anytime
much.
somebody drops out, call us.
We'll do the same. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Ace, call the standbys.
Yeah, maybe we will get on their show.
Call the B team.
the day of. No, this was awesome.
Listen, if Eddie gets sick in 2 weeks,
No, this was awesome. We loved having these guys on. We knew it was going to be a fun show. And actually, I love this kind of stuff where we're just hanging with friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
To me, these are better.
you
but
guys
these are
can
always-
relax a little bit. You don't have
Yeah.
to be, you don't have to be on.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
definitely. It's a lot of fun for us. I mean, not that we don't enjoy the other ones. We love discovering new people and getting to know
talking
them.
about their
But
career.
these are where we can, like you just said, we just relax and enjoy ourselves.
And for the
and it's a
audience,
blast.
this is truly behind the funny.
Yeah.
This is what it's like in the
Yeah.
green room, is just bullshitting about what's going on in our lives when we're backstage. You know?
And truly, I mean, for us, our Flannel Polyester was because we wanted to do shows with people we like,
Right.
Because
That's why
it's
we
more
haven't been on yet.
fun. That's exactly why.
Listen, you're digging yourself
And
a hole.
I know, right?
I just
Seriously.
saw that. I just,
Bing,
you see?
light bulb just went off.
Fucking light bulb right there.
Oh,
Nope,
there it
just
is.
went
That's
off.
why we have a light bulb in the basement.
There's a long list of people that hate me for not booking them, so don't worry.
And I blame him all the time.
And we just moved to the top of the list.
Yes.
I'm like, Jay Burns does the booking. So everybody still likes me.
Yeah,
With
exactly.
a couple of exceptions out there, and you guys already know.
Yeah.
But I'm
Oh,
3
we know.
scotches down, so fuck it.
When we redo,
Massage that Adam's apple.
hey, when we redo our intro music, there's the new
Yep.
quote.
Yep.
3 snatches down.
3 scotches down.
Scotches down. I thought he said snatches.
No,
Scotches.
No, scotches.
All right. Oh my
Hey,
god.
don't die now.
Fucking maniac.
Find my nitro pills,
Don't die now.
please.
Don't die now. You're parked behind me.
Oh my god. Our friend Robin just said, I'm gonna go watch the Jack Parr show now. See you next time.
Robin, bravo.
Very good.
Robin.
Then she's gonna meet Martha.
She's got to be Martha.
Robin, you have just guaranteed that we're going to bring Grandma Martha back.
Jen just said we should all be 3 scotches down, so fuck it.
Thank you, Jen.
You know, one of these times we should have Robin and Jen on because they are
Absolutely.
our number one viewers.
That would be fun.
That would be a fun show.
Or you
That
just
would be.
If they
have
would
them,
love
have
to
them
do
on
it,
as like a co-host too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like have a
absolutely.
comic and them. They can.
and
that'd
them,
be fun.
yeah, that would be fun.
That would be
Yeah.
fun.
As a StreamYard, because obviously Robin lives in Colorado, Jen's in
Yeah,
Connecticut.
just send them the link.
We'll just
Yeah,
send them
that's
the
all.
link.
That's
That would
an
be
easy.
fun if you guys will all. Oh, Robin said you'll have to fly me in. All right, evidently now
She wants to be in the basement.
We need a budget.
Holy shit! Like
we'll
we're
work
fucking
on it.
Conan now.
I know. I know.
You
But
barely
no.
have ice.
This was. We got 1 ice cube left. Brian
And
just-
I just we gotta split it amongst the 4 of us now.
Oh my god!
We gotta take turns.
This guy. Brian is squeezing his ice cube into Jay's drink.
It's a timeshare ice cube.
Oh my God.
Oh shit!
You listen, if you don't watch this podcast on Wednesday nights, you are missing out on some great shit.
Oh my
Because
God!
this was so much fun.
Absolutely.
No, we have to thank you guys for being on again. Check out Jay's podcast.
What's it called?
Hold on. I got the banner. Kill Smarter
There you
podcast.
And I'll actually put a link in the show notes for
Yes.
anybody that's listening. Check out the show notes and the
And if-
link to the podcast.
And
will
if
be
you're
there.
in the Rhode Island area, check out Polyester Flannel Productions. Check
that's
their
us.
shows out. That would be great.
That's
One of these days you'll see me and Scott on the maybe.
Probably
But
not.
Maybe.
probably not.
Probably not.
Even though my grandfather owned the Sunnyside Club at one point, I think I told you that. Behind the bar looks
Well,
exactly like it did
His
when I was
grandfather.
a kid.
His grandfather used to do collections there.
Yeah, well, same thing.
Hey,
oh, hey, oh.
hey,
Oh. Why do you-
Whose jacket do you think this
Calm
is?
down.
Why do you think we can't name some of the bookers we've been on?
Jen, hey, Jen goes, does the Aceman also Airbnb? Evidently, now we're having sleepovers there. Slumber parties. That's great.
By the way, that's how a lot of serial killing starts.
Yes,
As
exactly.
Airbnbs. We're getting a lot of instructions
Hey,
from Jay.
Didn't you see the movie Hostel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your kidneys are going to be nice
Same
in about an
thing.
hour and a
Just
half.
make sure you don't have any potatoes that night.
Yeah, right.
Just soup. All he's serving is soup.
Good soup.
Yeah, soup.
Just a
Right.
good soup.
Oh, my God.
I think we've covered it all, Ace.
Yeah, I think we have. So listen, folks,
Say
we
good
really
Thank you.
we really appreciate everyone that watches every week. We really appreciate everyone that downloads.
Yes.
Downloads have been going up. Please tell a friend about us. If you enjoy the show, tell a friend who might enjoy the show.
Share
It really is fun to do this. Share it. If you have a podcast, we've had a couple of people reach out to us, but if you have a podcast that you think we'd be good guests on, a comedy podcast, a podcast about podcasts, please reach out to us. We would love to be guests on
Absolutely. Absolutely.
wait a
Love.
minute.
We
Absolutely.
love going on podcasts. and
Rephrase that.
Yeah, we'd love being on you. What?
No, no. You don't want to be on every podcast. Just say it.
Yeah.
Massage
Shut
the
up.
Adam's apple.
Yeah, shut up there. Hold on.
Massage the Adam's apple.
Hold on. Anyway, please, if you listen, hit that 5-star written review. Give us a couple of sentences or one sentence on how much you enjoy the show. We really appreciate it. And I don't know, other than that,
We'll talk to you
next week.